There we go. Welcome back, everyone. We are back. Christmas Eve. Nobits, Golf Nut, Robert, Keystone, Britt, Chef. Good morning, Chef. Bruce, Kevin, Brandon, Safa, CJ. Morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Little half day today on the market. Figured I'd come in, get back, get back in the swing of things. Nice little break. Feel very refreshed. Ready to go. Ready to close this year strong. Morning, guys. Appreciate all the birthday wishes all this week. It felt like a birthday week for me. I appreciate it. Morning, guys. Market closed tomorrow. Half day today. Everything stops at 1 o'clock. So it should be, the expectation is it's a slow day, but I've seen some of these half days be pretty crazy, so we shall see. Market is doing some interesting things, some really interesting strength again on the semiconductors. So big flips after that sort of panic downside we saw last week. So interesting. Morning, everyone. How we doing? I am 30 years old. I just hit the big 3-0. The big 3-0. Big birthday, but just a number. Feel like we're just in the prime. We're just getting started here. Morning, everyone. Welcome back. Another stream. All right. Car Place. What's up, Alex? Appreciate that, man. Car Place. All right. Let's get started. Welcome back. Tuesday, December 24th. Merry Christmas to those that celebrate. Chad, I'll check your... I sent you a DM last night, Chad. Let me see. I must have missed your... Okay. Chad, I'll try to get that done after this stream for you. Be on the lookout for the DM. So Merry Christmas to those that celebrate. Little break tomorrow. Markets closed. We'll be back in business on Thursday, Friday. Then back in business until end of 2024. Yeah, that's about it. Really nothing else to report. Nice cold, was in New York for the coldest day in 2 years. That was the coldest day in 2 years in New York, back on my birthday. So that's funny that happens. But felt good to be back in the cold. And let's go. All right. Nothing else to chit-chat about. Nothing else to waste time about. Let's just get started. So, today, really nothing on the economic, guys. I don't really expect anything economic-wise to really do anything during this sort of half week. Everyone's gone. Big fund managers, right? They're all on vacation. They're all up in the, I don't know, maybe not the Hamptons because it's freezing, but they're all in Florida, California. Maybe they're over in Europe. Who knows? They're not home. I'll tell you that. They're not on their trading desk this week. No one's at their trading desk this week. I was in Wall Street. It was a ghost town. So it's going to continue to be a ghost town. We'll see what the market does, but just know that. Unemployment claims on Thursday after our day off tomorrow for Christmas. We end the week with really nothing that big on the economic side. Next week, PMI. Markets closed on New Year's, so it's going to be another sort of slower week. I would say you really don't start getting, the traders back in action until January 6th, the first real week of January, January 6th. So the next 2 weeks going to be pretty slow, guys. You're sort of peppered with holidays and just not going to really be driven by much volume, in my opinion. So let's know that. With that said, let's get back into the charts. Man, did it feel good to get back onto the charts last night when I got home. I just felt a nice refresh, and here we go. So let's talk about the big drop, right? Let's start there. Let's talk about the big drop. Let's talk about what we saw back on, what was it, Wednesday into Thursday into Friday. So Wednesday, we had the FOMC, right? And I'll agree, right? Powell just did not seem, something seemed, it seemed like it just didn't really make sense. I've been watching a lot of recaps of that speech, and I'm not the big economic guy that you may be looking for. I'm more the technical guy, but I also sort of agreed that it was very strange what was said on that FOMC, and then it was very strange that the next day, the pretty much exactly what they did, pretty much contradicting what they said on the FOMC, the data showed the next day. So that, I think, has a lot to do with why you saw this market push back higher. The data supported, it seems like something different, sort of contradicting some of the tone that was set on FOMC. So it's a very weird thing, right? It's a very strange last few days. I want to believe that, status quo is still there, right? I want to believe that pullback longs are still alive. But I think you just, you proceed with a little bit of caution at this point. This is not, oh my God, the market's at its highs, we're going straight down. This is it. It's over. That's never the reaction that I never want to react that way in the markets. It's just never, I think, the right way to react. Okay. You focus on the levels. You focus on the levels. You focus on whether levels are reclaiming, whether they're rejecting. That's how you can tell, right, if there's more downside. And so what happened on Thursday that showed you that there was more downside, right? It was very clear that there was potentially more downside on Thursday, and why is that, right? After that Wednesday panic move, there was a very clear thing that happened, and this was something I posted on my X and talked about it with the group, and you guys that are from the group, we were very, very aware of this. We just said, hey, if this 21,007 level rejects, then yeah, we're going lower, right? Because this is a break and fail of a previous low, right? So we had these previous lows here at 21,007 that we broke below on Wednesday. We pushed back into Thursday pre-market, and we failed it. I mean, perfectly. Right at the market open, we failed 21.7. We failed these previous lows, and more downside came in, right? And so I want to try to, challenge you to still focus on these levels, guys, even through some of this panic. The market is still reacting to levels, even with some panic, right? And so you saw the 21.7 reject. You saw the previous lows reject. More downside came in. Very, very nice, right? Downside came in all Thursday. We went straight down based off that technical rejection. Very nice. Where did we come down into? We came down into the 21,000 major demand low, right? So if we look at this, take a look at this low right here. 21,000 major low, 21,000 major low, right? Big demand step up there with the data that came out on Thursday, sort of pushing this market back higher, right? So levels reacted to data, still very much a not predictable, right? It's never 100% predictable, but, a very clear technical hold here, a very clear technical rejection here, right? And so if you can focus on this without panicking, it's still a market that you can trade. And so what are we doing now, right, in the short term? What's going on now that you can see what's happening, right? Look at this. See these lows right here? 21,450. See how we held those lows on the Wednesday panic? See, Wednesday panic, what did we hold? Right there. We held 21,450. That was the level that held, right? Now here on Thursday, we tried to hold that level, right here, ultimately slipping below it, causing a rejection and failing lower, right? And so now, what's going on, right? What's going on? Look at this 21,450, guys. 21,450. Hold here on Wednesday after the panic. What happened both Friday and yesterday? Look, 21,450, 21,450, right? And so now you can say, all right, bulls have reclaimed 21,450, and I would possibly continue to look for this level to turn into a new long opportunity, right? Pullbacks to 21,450 can now be, right, that potential long. We can see the holds here on Wednesday. We see the attempt of hold here Thursday. We see the hold here 21,450 Friday. And we see the hold here yesterday. That was the low of day yesterday, 21,450. Textbook level, playing with levels, absolutely textbook, right? Again, just a nice, clean technical level holding there yesterday at the low of day. Perfect, right? That low day hold, setting up the push that happened here into close and into this morning. Very nice, right? Now, what's happening right now as we speak, right? 21,700, Thursday's rejection point. Guess what, my friends? Look what it's doing. We're holding above it, right? And so it is very easy to say today in your mind, right? Create that if-then statement. Create that game plan. If the NASDAQ futures are over 21,007, are over Thursday's highs, and over the daily 20 SMA, then this is still very bullish, right? I can look to potentially long a 21,007 level, right, off the daily 20, and I can potentially long a 21,560 low, right here, 21,560, 21,450, right, and in the most bullish level, 21,700, right? So very explainable. And if we go out to the hourly chart, look at this, right? Imagine, right, look how we have now reclaimed, look how big of a level this reclaim is. See this? Previous low, previous low, previous low, 21,700. That was our Thursday rejection right there. Guess what? We're back above it, right? We're back above it. So if the NASDAQ futures is above 21,700, guys, this is a major, major reclaim, right? Sort of throwing all of this away. A lot of trap shorts, right? A lot of shorts that probably got trapped out of this move that were shorting this, right? I saw, this is a funny little, I'm gonna say this. It's a funny little thing, but the person's not gonna know. They probably don't even watch me, but I have some guy I follow on my personal Instagram, someone that I know doesn't really trade that much. So I know it's like a true retail trader, right? Someone that's maybe in and out of the markets every few weeks and blah, 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 right? Sort of like, when your grandparents start talking about Bitcoin, it's the top, right? That kind of feel. I saw a post from some kid that I follow that I know doesn't really trade, and he said, "My put's chillin'," right? And that was on Thursday, right? So I know for a fact that there are a ton of sort of bears or just traders coming out of the woodworks that think, hey, the market just topped and I'm just going to short this and it's going to be really easy just to trade this market lower. That got absolutely manhandled on Thursday on this pop, right? I know that's a fact. So there is a lot of sort of retail shorts, in my opinion, that got totally sort of bent over trying to chase, right, this straight down move, right, about 6% on Thursday, right? There's a ton. And so that definitely could potentially fuel this market to return higher, right? It's very possible. You have a lot of retail shorts that probably just sort of took puts on Thursday thinking this was the top, here we go, right? We're just going to go straight down, and then this thing just absolutely ripped straight back up. That definitely took a lot of people out, right? No doubt about it. So what I would say, right, if you're above 21,700, you can very confidently, in my opinion, you can confidently stay long. I really, truly believe that. This is a very major previous low right here that you have rejected on Thursday that you stayed above this morning. 21,700, that's the line in the sand. No doubt about it, okay? 21,700, line in the sand. If you fail back below it, then things get questionable again, right, for me. If we fail back below 21,700 and we start to reject here, guys, then yes, okay, that is a questionable move, and I would be concerned about that, and I would react to that, right? And so you'll have the Timmies and the Jimmies and the morons, right, come back and say, oh, Desi, you said 21.7. Look, we're underneath it. I told you so, right? Hey, man, right? I'm going to react to that too, okay? I will react to that. If I see the NASDAQ fail back under 21,700, right, then I will say, okay, right, a little bit cautious here. I don't really like that. That might be a reason for me to be cautious on the longs here. That could react to maybe some sellers coming back in, okay? So 21,700, 21,700, 21,700, and the daily 20 SMA, I think, is your must-hold level to really see some bullish action come back into this market. If we fail back below that level and we fail back below the daily 20 SMA, then I would assume that some weakness could come back in, right? Maybe back down into the 560 and back down into the 450 lows, okay? To the upside, right? To the upside, we are still up against some major supplies, and when we get to the QQQ, you're going to see some major supplies above that we need to get above, right? And that is right here. So on the NASDAQ futures, it's right around this 21,850. 21,850, 21,850, 21,850, 21,850, and that rejection here from Friday, that's definitely going to be a heavy level up there, guys. So be aware of that. Maybe you're probably going to need some volume to get through that. So if there's not much volume today, maybe hard pressed to see a real true breakout above this 21,850 today. You might just sort of see a channel between this 150 point range today. I think that's very possible. So just be aware of that 21,850 high. That's definitely a supply. And then above that, you have a very clear 970 above. Okay. So you're still cautious of these upside rejection points, guys, right? You're still cautious of this. You're still cautious of this. You're still cautious of something here, right? You still need to be aware of these upside supplies, right? Make sure you're watching those upside levels. 21,850, 21,970, and then I have this 22,130 above. Okay? 21,700, guys. That's the key. 21,700. And here's the key on the QQQ. And it's, I think this one's very, very clear, right? This one's very, very clear. This is a major zone. This sort of feels like the line in the sand on the QQQ. That is right here. All right, you can see this very clear 526 to 525 zone. It's about $1 range here on the QQQ that you rejected here on Friday. That was a previous major low here from back in, back December 12th. A major previous rejection here and some previous holds right here. This 525, 526 level, right here, that looks major, okay? So as we're pushing higher this morning, please be careful of this level. You rejected this on Friday, right? You rejected this back here. This was a previous hold here, right? This is a major inflection point on the QQQ. So please have this 525, 526 zone mapped out. Make sure you understand that there is supply there. If the market starts pushing into it today, please be careful of some failures, okay? Now, what's the big level that I think has to hold? That is right here. Look how clear this is. See this right here? 520.50, 520. Take a look. Lows, 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 lows. Rejections on Thursday of last week, right? Pop and, or sort of drop, pop, and fade, right? The retest rejection move that happened on Thursday happened at 520.50. 520, 520.50. Right there, right? Bam. Retest rejection, creating more downside. Okay? That was right at these previous lows. Now you can see that the QQQ is holding above that level, right? We are holding above that Thursday failure point and the daily 20 SMA at 520.50. So if we fail this level here today and we come back down, I would watch to see if this level holds right around this 520, right around this daily 20 SMA. If it does, then you can sort of, trust that we're going to stay within this channel, okay? If we break back under this 520.50 area and break back under that daily 20, then I would expect there to be some more weakness down towards this 518 and possibly back down towards that 515, okay? Something I want to talk about is how big that 515 level is, guys, right? Let's take a look at our daily levels. If you remember our sort of zoomed out analysis, 515 was what? What was 515 on the QQQ? 515 was the previous all-time highs, okay? Previous all-time highs on the QQQ was $515 per share. That was where we had that major rejection, where we sort of grinded back higher. And guess what? Guess what we never got, right? Guess what we never got at 515? We never got a retest. We went straight through it without a retest. We went straight through previous all-time highs on that election news. I believe this was election right here, right? And we just sort of squeezed right through it. Never retested 515, never came back down to test that level, right? And so if we go into our levels again here on the intraday, look what happened at 515, guys. A very important thing, okay? Right here. 515, previous all-time highs, has now shown you buying coming in, right? 515, 515. We failed it here on Thursday, which created more downside. But look what happened. We got back above it, And look at this low that came in yesterday. That is a very key low that happened yesterday. We are back above 515 previous all-time highs. And if we stay above this level, there is a reason to potentially think that this market's going to come back, right? It's a 515 previous all-time high retest. It's a reclaim back above it. Let me go back here, right? It's a reclaim back above this 515 all-time high. That's very important. And look at that daily candle right off that yesterday. Look at this daily candle right off the previous all-time high at 515. Very important. So I would be very careful aggressively shorting this QQQ market if we are above previous all-time highs, right? Think about this technically. Forget this, right? Forget this emotional downside move. Are we, if we were, right, if we forget about all the bias and forget about all the emotion and forget about all the panic, are we shorting the market above a previous all-time high? Is that bearish? No, it's not, right? It's not. Maybe the Fed, continues to put some pressure on this market. Maybe the interest rates and the fear of recession continues to sort of hurt this market. But technically, right, if we forget about all that and we think about technicals, am I shorting the market with confidence above a previous all-time high? The answer to that is always no, right? And so what I saw here on a hold back above 515, right, on yesterday, the low coming in right above that 515 level, it's hard for me to say that you want to short this market, right, above that level. It's very difficult. That's not really a very clean area to be shorting back into. Previous all-time highs that has shown you holds came in yesterday at low a day, right? And a very aggressive sort of bounce and a very aggressive hold when you sort of even came close to that area yesterday. Just sort of got bid right back up. So very key in my opinion. What do you need to see break today if you want to see more upside? It's very clear, the 525, 526. I would be very focused on that previous all-time high back at 515. Okay? ES, S&P 500 futures. Okay, here we go. So, what did the ES do? The ES, very funny, man. Check this out. All right, check this out. I'm going to try to get to just a clean chart. I'd like to get to like a no drawing chart. I don't have one. Shit. I'll just go to this for now. Let's go to the daily. And let's take a look at this, guys. Let's look at the daily chart, right, from back in April of this year. And let's do this real quick, right? Let's hide this. Keep it in that. Let's hide that. Let's hide that. And then let's make this a real big, thick boy right there, right? Take a look at this chart, guys. All right, take a look at this chart with me. Actually, maybe I have to go even further back. How far can I go back? Probably until, since this uptrend has begun, right? Take a look at this, please. Okay? S&P 500 futures. What's that green line? Right? What's that green line? And what has happened every single time we've gotten close to that green line for the last 8 months, right? Last 8 months. What has happened for 8 months since we have came back to that line? And this is obviously always possible to change, okay? It's very possible for that to change. It's very possible for things to break. But if you want to trade on the side of things happening over the last 8 months, then take a look at this chart, okay? What am I going to talk about? 100 SMA on the daily chart. Every single time over the last 8 months has been a long opportunity. Every single time. Right here. 100 SMA, bam. Right? Right here. A little bit of a panic fake out, right? Little panic fake out. Got right back above it, right? That's a nice little alfalfa right there. Little alfalfa there on the 100 SMA, creating a long opportunity, right? Here, right here. What was this? Back in September. Drop, 100 SMA, pop. Right? Right here, drop, 100 SMA, pop. What happened here? Straight down to the 100 SMA. What was the exact level that held? Right? Look at that. On the 5-minute chart. Look at that right there. 100 SMA Friday, bam. Alongside data, straight back up. So, that is something I would be paying attention to, right? It's just, you really don't have a case to aggressively short this market if this trend is still intact, right? This trend is definitely still intact. The 100 SMA has kept it alive. If we fail back under this, right, and we really start to say, hey, price action is now living below the 100, then I would say, yes, I agree. This is broken, right? And that's a concern. But right now, it's not happening, right? This is still very much intact, okay? Very clear. So let's move forward. That's the first thing I want to point out. That's a very important fact that I would make sure you have in the back of your mind and you make sure you pay attention to, because that is definitely still there, okay? 100 SMA, big boy. Look at that down there. So what happened next? What happened next after the 100 SMA held? Let's go out to the 4-hour chart and let's talk about this level right here, my friends. Look at this right here. Previous all-time highs. 59.75, 59.90, right in there. Previous all-time highs, right? Remember that? Look at this. This was your hold right there. That created that next leg higher. 59.75 to 59.90. What is happening right here on the 30-minute chart at that exact level? And what happened on Thursday at that exact level? Look at this, right? That level, break, retest, rejection. That's a very textbook rejection on Thursday of last week, creating more downside, right? Now, Friday comes along. Yesterday comes along. Guess what? Look at that zone. Look how that zone has turned into lows now. So it is very clear to say if the ES is above this level, right? If the ES is above this level, why, right? Why are we shorting it, right? Why are we shorting this? If the ES breaks below this, then you can stay with more confidence. Hey, we're back under this Thursday high. We're back under these rejection points. Now I can look to short this, maybe back down into this 59.30, maybe back down into this 100 SMA, right? And then, again, you have to also say to yourself, hey, all right, I'm shorting into the 100 SMA again. I probably should keep this light, right? Because now I have to be careful of this bouncing again, right? So that's sort of the concern there. But could you find some kind of short-term shorts under that 59.75 zone here? Absolutely, right? If we fail back under this, if this turns back into a rejection, if we fail back under yesterday's lows and we reject this high right here, then of course we're going to see some sellers stack in again, okay? For now, that is not happening. For now, this high is turning into lows, and that is a major level. That is not just some kind of short-term level, guys. That is a major previous all-time high here that has turned back into demand. Very important, off the 100 SMA bounce. Now, the level above, okay? The level above that looks to be very major as well is right here. It's right in this 60-50, 60-60 zone. You have major previous lows. You have major previous lows right there. If this turns into a rejection, this could be a lower high. It's very possible, okay? This is very possible still. So you could just be retracing this straight down move, right? Retracing this and possibly maybe rejecting at a lower high. It's very possible. So this is your next level to pay attention to. Right here, 60-50, 60-60. You got to clear this out, okay? You got to clear this out. If you clear this out, you're going back into the 6110, 6120 zone, okay? If you clear this out at 60-60, you're going right back into these highs, and back into that daily 20 SMA around 6100. So that's the next spot right there. 60-50, 60-60, very clear supply above. You can see the rejections that came in on Friday, and you can see right here that we're sort of just sitting right under it. Can we get through it? If we can and hold above, we're going to 6100. If we cannot, this could be a rejection that brings us right back down to these lows. That is very possible. And you can start to see the ES trade within this channel, right? So, very clear there. SPY, 585. Who remembers the 585, man? Someone's got to remember 585. I sure hope so, right? 585, you guys remember that level. We were sort of yelling and screaming about this level back in November. 585 SPY, right? Look at what it did, right? Look at what it did. Previous highs, 585 lows, creating upside. Look at where we came back to, 585. So, is this market still intact? Is structure still intact there? 585, absolutely. Absolutely it is, right? 585, absolutely still there, right? You can see this. This was our structure that we talked about previously. Let's look back at this structure here. Here's our structure on this SPY market, right? We've had these structure points. These are our big boy structure points right here. 585, 575, right? And 565 are like those major levels. These are like the big boys. These are not short-term levels. These are, those major, flip pivot points on the market. And so what did we do, right? We sort of held 585 here, pushed higher, got a little frothy, started to get stuck, right? Powell sort of scares the market, right back down to 585, 585, little alfalfa move, straight back above it. We're right back over 585, and it's holding, right? So at this point, I would say, right, only way you short this with confidence is a failure back under 585, right? If you can turn this back into rejections, if you can fail this level again, and you can fail back under 585, then I would say, and I would agree, there is a concern on this market. But what has happened? 585 has wicked right back up, and holds have definitely come in. 100 SMA almost got tested right down here at 575. You are still above that daily 100 down there. That is a very strong zone at 575 as well. Okay? So that's the big time, the big stuff, zoomed out look. Let's zoom into the hourly chart, and let's talk about some shorter term stuff. So here's the hourly chart. Let's zoom in a little bit. What happened next? Looks like you developed a nice hold area around this 589, 590, right? After that hold above 585. And now, what I think is very key today is right here. I think this looks to be very key. See these lows right here at 594.50? Right here at 594.50? Take a look at what you're trying to do here on the SPY today. Can you hold above 594.50, 595 today? Look at this. Lows, 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 highs, lows. Rejection here on Friday. Look at what's happening right now. If you hold above this level right here, that's very good for the SPY, okay? If you hold above this level today, I think that is very good for the SPY. If you fail back below it, you're going to probably come back down to this 590 area, right? You fail back below that, you're coming back down to that 590 area, okay? But what is happening right now is that you are holding above it. That 594.50, that rejection from Friday, take a look at what it's doing right now. You're holding above it. If you hold above that, I really don't see much of a reason that the SPY can't push back into the 600 spot and sort of fill this straight down move. So 594.50, that looks to be a key today on the SPY. Keep an eye on it. If we push off that level, I'd assume maybe something close back to that 600 area. 599.50, 600. Okay? All right. 1,700 people. 500 likes on Christmas Eve. Ouch. That hurts. That hurts. Dow Jones. Ooh. Dow Jones 100 SMA. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Look at that. 43,000. Huh. Yeah, I haven't really been watching the Dow. I don't watch it as much, obviously, but that's a little bit of an interesting 100 SMA there on the Dow. No. 43,000 previous highs here. 100 SMA. Something to watch for sure. Something to watch for sure. IWM. A little bit of a concern on the IWM. This is something I could see getting a little bit right? I just don't know if I like the IWM back under 227 here, guys. It's a little bit iffy to me, right? The small caps. Do the small caps catch steam again? Maybe, right? Maybe. That's a tough level, though. You have failed under a big level, right? And that's 227. 227, if you guys remember, we got to go all the way back, right? All the way back to 2021. 227 was sort of this major supply high, multi-year high, right? I mean, it was like a multi-year high that we could not get above, and we are right back under it. And so that concerns me, right? That concerns me just a tad on the small caps. Do I think the small caps are going to be the first things to come back? No, right? It's just not, right? The tech sector will be, large cap tech, big discounts on big cap tech. That will be the place that people run for, right? They see, oh shit, Meta's down 10%. I need to long this thing, right? Or, oh shit, Nvidia's down at 128. That's where I want to look to maybe get some longs. Now, do I think you're going to be running for small cap exposure? Maybe, but I'd say maybe a little bit cautious on that idea. So, yeah, I'm not that focused on small caps, nor am I ever. 227, if you can get back above this, that would be big, okay? That would be a big fuel, right? If you can get back above this and sort of reclaim on some kind of an inverse head and shoulder here, that would be like big time reclaim, big time comeback that you can look for. 227. So that's that. SMH. You guys know my stance, man. I have not changed my stance here once. I have stayed confident. It is absolutely still here. It has been through just about everything you could possibly put it through, man. The SMH has been put through every test that you could possibly put through, put a sector through. You have seen beautiful moves, major drops, major fake outs to both sides. It has been a very difficult, sort of choppy area here on the SMH as it sort of trades sideways. Man, has this been a tough one to sort of stay confident on. But this demand holds strong, right? The 200 SMA continues to hold strong. And this wedge here just looks like a prime opportunity at some point. Something's going to happen here, right? Something is going to happen here. SMH is not going to trade sideways into eternity. There's going to be something that happens here. And if the market's on the bullish side, I believe it's going to be to the upside. 200 SMA, once again, holding strong. I would continue to watch this thing, man. I would continue to watch this thing. The next level that you're going to be looking for us to confirm that there's more upside is, again, the 254 area, right? Once again, the same rejection, 254, 255. That's the same failure point, straight down here, straight back up, right? Big demand down at that 200 SMA, that 237, 100 SMA holding, 20 SMA holding, 50 SMA holding, right? Back above this 249 level, holding that 249 this morning. So, I mean, I still see those demands stepping in, right? At this point, you're looking for pullbacks to 249, 247, 245. Those are all pullback longs. And the next big test is at the same level here, 254. 254. That's the line in the sand. You get above that, semis are going to be on one. Let's see what happens, man. And funny thing is, you're starting to get AMD waking up. Look at this downtrend on AMD. This is something we're about to talk about in a second. Tesla. Take a second, press that like button for me, man. Christmas Eve. We're here on Christmas Eve. We're here talking about the markets, getting ourselves prepared. Maybe we don't take too much action today because of, a little bit of a lower volatility day, but at least we're getting prepared. We're here. We're getting used to these levels again. We're creating that photographic memory, man. The photographic memory is a big thing in trading. You got to remember what everything's at, right? You got to be able to close your eyes and say, okay, I know Meta's here. I know Nvidia's here. I know my levels. I'm very aware, right? Because you have to be able to react quick. You can't jump on, you can't be midday looking at Tesla, say, oh shit, what's the level, right? And you're going through analysis for 30 minutes, right? No, you need to know it. You need to know it right when it's happening. And that means you have to prepare. You have to be prepared. And if you're not prepared, then I will take your money, right? If you're not prepared, there's someone on the other side of the screen taking your money, right? So that's the way it works. That's the way trading works. So Tesla, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Man, is this interesting. Tesla has pulled back to the previous all-time highs, right? Pulled back to the previous all-time highs, and I'm going to say it's really this entire zone. Anywhere between 414.50 and 400 is a major long spot for me in terms of my strategy, okay? And if I can't trade my strategy here, then I'm just taking random trades, right? I need to stick to my strategy here, right? And my strategy will always say a break and retest of previous all-time highs is the spot that you look to create long exposure. And so what has Tesla done, right? Tesla has previous all-time highs at 414.50. Tesla has previous major triple top highs here at 400 flat. This entire zone between 414.50 and 400 is a major buy zone for me, right? And so if we go into the daily chart, and we zoom into what's happening right now, take a look at what is happening right at this zone, right? This zone is starting to become, and look at this daily candle yesterday. We have squeezed through this zone. We have done a fantastic, and I mean just a beautiful slow downside move into this level. This is a very structured pullback right into JM. You're either going to stop typing in caps or you're going to be the first one to go on Christmas Eve, man. Right back into 414.50 and 400, right? Right back into that previous all-time high. And look at the daily 20 SMA starting to catch up to price action. What I think could happen here, right, is a few days of consolidation, right? A few more candles of consolidation, maybe a couple more of these, right? A couple more of these sort of consolidation days. Let me see if I can draw this out. You know, a couple more. This is going to be really ugly. A really ugly candle here. A couple more of these, right? Maybe a little fake out candle back down, right? One of these, right? Just a few more days of just sort of holding above this level as the daily 20 SMA catches up to price action, right? And when that daily 20 SMA catches up to price action, and when that consolidation zone right here holds strong, that is going to be what I look for that next leg higher, right? This looks very interesting, okay? If you go to the 4-hour chart, you have a perfect hold above previous all-time highs at 414.50. You have this 400 zone right here on that daily 20 SMA, and anything in this zone is going to be the area to watch for new longs for me, right? Right in here. This is also playing into just the psychology of traders, right? Everyone loved Tesla here. Oh my God, I can't believe it, right? And now it's like that Bitcoin meme, right? Bitcoin a week ago at 100,000. It's like, it's like some sexy looking girl that everyone loves, and then Bitcoin at 100,000 this week. It's just no one wants it, right? Why? Why do we not want Tesla anymore, right? What happened? Nothing. So this is a fantastic pullback. I am absolutely going to be looking for this 400 to 415 zone to create a new long. If you break under 400 and you break under the daily 20 SMA, that breaks down, right? That breaks down the analysis, but that is what an analysis is all about. You have your structure, and you know when it's going to break down, right? And when it breaks down, you can leave, right? You can leave the party, you can take your loss, and you can accept that the game plan failed. But for now, I am never going to not look for a previous all-time high retest to be a long opportunity. That's a big watch. Nvidia. I mean, that's just hot, man. It's just hot. I really don't have any more words. You guys know my stance. I really don't have any much more to say. This is just so good looking. It really is. It has been. It's been able to fake out a lot of people. It's gotten me out on a few short-term positions, but it definitely has not taken me away from the longer-term look. This is just a fantastic looking opportunity all day, every day. Nothing's going to stop me from staying long here. I mean, this is just sick. Previous highs here, major demand lows, 100 SMA, perfect holds all last week, even through the market downside. Nvidia barely fell, right? Nvidia barely dropped in that market downside. Huge outperformance on Nvidia. Huge outperformance on Nvidia during that market downside, holding the 100 SMA, holding these previous highs, and look at the move that's happening, right? I mean, just look at the weekly chart. It's just how can you not, right? If you can't long this, how could you even trade, right? That's just my opinion. I'm just talking out loud here. If you can't long a break and retest on the weekly chart here, then you probably can't trade the retest, right? You probably just don't trust it. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, that is just a thing of beauty, and I do not care what happens here at all. If I'm not long here, I would rather lose 50 grand than not be long here. I'd rather lose a lot of money than not be long here. This would be one of the most painful things to watch to not be a part of, in my opinion. If I see Nvidia play out like this, like I'm staring at it and I'm scared to long, then take me out of this chair and put me into a 9 to 5, right? And get me out of this chair, right? Get me out. Stop watching. That's how I feel, right? If you can't take that trade, then what are we doing here, right? That is just a beautiful looking setup on the weekly chart. It's a beautiful 100 SMA hold on the daily. It might be, starting to get away a little bit, but this is a long all day. The level to watch in the short term, right? The level to watch in the short term is 140, right? 140 is the line in the sand here. If you can get over 140, if you can hold above 140, then I think you're going to start to see this thing go. Over 140, I think you'll come back to this 146.50. If you do reject this 140 today, I would look for pullbacks to 137. I would look for pullbacks to 135. This looks fantastic, and I'll be long. Okay? AMD. So, you have finally seen something, right? You have finally seen something. Why did I sell? My expiration, Jay. It's taken a little bit longer than expected, so I have to de-risk the short terms. That's why I was selling some of the short-term action. 128 AMD. You have broken this downtrend, which is quite interesting, right? Quite interesting. Break of downtrend, right? Starting to here we go again, right? AMD starting to get some people involved, and then it's just going to ruin everyone's Christmas, right? I don't know. AMD, maybe you buy some shares, right? That's what I actually thought about that this morning. Maybe it's time to go ahead and put some money back in the shares, right? Maybe it's time that everyone hates it so much that it might be a good share purchase down here. This is possibly what I do, right? Instead of taking some options. Interesting break of downtrend. Interesting change in character here. Semiconductors strong, right? Major previous daily low, right? If we go out to this daily chart, let me go ahead and get more time here. Major previous daily low around that 116 level, right here. Major previous daily low around that 116 level. 128, right? 128. Right here, right here, right here, right here. 128, right there. Watch that level. That's it today. 128. If you get above 128, you're going to go to 132. And above 130, and 132 is the daily 20. You get above 132 in the daily 20, this thing might be starting to groove a little bit. So look for pullback longs at 123. Inverse head and shoulder possibly forming, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, something like that, right? Very clear inverse head and shoulder possibly forming. You need to hold above 123. You fail back under 123, this thing's right back to dead, right? Right back to dead under 123. Okay? Broadcom, monster. What a pullback long. Man, do I wish I was a little bit more focused on this one. Obviously, with me being away, I wasn't really looking to take much more than just Nvidia and Tesla, but shit, right? This is what I say. Shit, when I look at this. Gorgeous. Right back down to that 210. Reclaimed that 220. Got back above the 225. I mean, this is just a beautiful inverse head and shoulder right here, right? Left shoulder, alfalfa head, right shoulder. Beautiful reversal pattern right there. I mean, just fantastic. Fantastic on Broadcom. The strongest semi here, and why would it not continue to be the strongest semi after a good pullback? That's exactly what you're seeing here. This thing's a beast, and I would be paying attention to this. So if you hold above 234, 236, if you hold above these previous lows right here and these highs, I think Broadcom goes right back to that 246.50 and possibly to new highs. This is a sick trade. This is a sick chart. This is a sick stock, really. Watch these lows right here. 234. I'm just happy I have the shares at 140. Shout out Piff. Shout out Piff. Shares 140. Up $100 a share on shares. Love it. Yeah, watch this 234, and I would look for pullback longs at 225. If you can get back to here, that would be a dream. But, yeah, that's that. TSM. Oh, man, what a beautiful chart this was as well, right? So many good opportunity. I hope you guys see how many good opportunities arised. I don't know what the word would be there. Rose, just rose. I don't know. How many good opportunities came from that drop on the market? Look at this, right? 190, major previous highs, 190, 190, 190, 190, 190, straight back down into 190. And look at the hold again. Right back into that 190. Look at the hold again. Look at the long that came in. And now we watch the 205. Right? Look at this. 205, 205, 205, 205. Can you hold above 205? If you can, this is a break and retest of major channel highs. Look at that. 205. Palantir's hot, man. We talked about Palantir for weeks, right? Every day we're getting screamed at. Palantir, Desi, Palantir. Right? Same answer every single time. 72, right? If you're going to long Palantir, why not long it at 72? Why long it after it's straight up? And that is exactly what happened. Exactly, right? 72 again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And guess what happened, right? And this shows you why I talk about the daily 20 SMA catching up to price action. What happened? What happened was the market was waiting for the daily 20 SMA to catch up. Price action was waiting for this daily 20 SMA to catch up to price action. And when it does, right, that is an inflection point. That is a catalyst. That is putting ethanol into your race car, right? Putting ethanol, little E85, putting it right into the gas tank, right at that daily 20 SMA, right? Right here, you're putting in 87, right? You got some 87, got some 93, right? Right here, when you have the demand and the daily 20 matching up, that's the ethanol. That's the VIP race fuel. That's that move, right? And so now that is gone, right? That is gone. If you couldn't take it then, right? Now you like it because it's straight up. Why didn't you like it here, right? Why did you not like it here? Well, now you're looking for 78, right? That's the level you need to see hold now. 78, right? Previous highs, lows, 78. That's your watch. Look for longs at 78. Meta, 605. What a hold here. If we go to the 4-hour chart, look at this hold right here at these lows, 583. You're back above 596. You got to get above this 605 today on Meta. 605 in the daily 20. Got to get above it. Google. Sick. Google sick. Right? Previous lows. Look at that hold that came in and that long that developed. You know what the sickest chart is? We're about to get into it, and it's Amazon. Sickest chart out there right now. 194, 190, 186. Look for those longs on Google. 194, 190. Look for those longs. Upside supply, 199.50. Here's the sickest chart of the day. And just the absolute textbook pullback long. We have been talking about Amazon coming back to 216 in the previous all-time highs for weeks on this live stream, right? We have said, right, after this squeeze over all-time highs, we have said Amazon will come back. It will happen, right? And when it does, you better be prepared, no matter what it looks like when it comes down to it. And typically, when stocks go over a previous all-time high and start to get extended, it's not going to be just a nice, slow, I'm going to hold your hand on the pullback and let you get really comfortable once it gets there. No, okay? That's not how it works. It's going to go straight down. It's going to panic you out. It's going to get your emotions riled up, right? And guess what happens? Previous all-time highs on Amazon at 216, a level we've had on this chart for weeks now. Look at that, please. Please look at that. That is a thing of pure beauty. And if you are ready to strike when these opportunities arise, that is when you will find just insane trades that offset risk and just make you a ton of money. That is sick, right? Perfect breakout of previous all-time highs, consolidation, frothy, sort of getting slow, market panic, straight downside, right to 216 and right back up off that level. If you long 216 on Amazon, pat yourself on the back, man. Seriously. If you were confident in this long at 216 at the previous all-time highs, you should be very happy with your decision making. That is a fantastic idea, and it worked out beautifully for you. What you want to look for now is a hold above 224. Can you hold above this 224 level? If you can, right, you're going back into 231. That is insane, and it's just man, this stuff gets me more excited than making money, right? Just looking at this chart and seeing how perfect what we look for happens on this market just makes me know that if I stay structured and I stay disciplined and I continue to look for my strategy, that I will continue to be a profitable trader, right? And I look for these major retest levels. I zoom out. I pay attention to previous all-time highs. I pay attention to major pullback levels, and I stay calm at those levels. If I continue to do that, then this right here proves to me that I will find trading opportunities. And that is what's beautiful about Amazon there. MRVL, same thing. Lows, guess what? Daily 20 SMA. Look, same exact thing across all these stocks. It's the same exact thing. Daily 20 SMA, previous demand lows. Daily 20 SMA, bam, right? Again, same thing. You've heard me talk about the daily 20 SMA 20 times in this live stream. It's the same thing again. Look, Friday, daily 20, straight up. Right off previous demand, straight up. Perfect. 112, that's your next level, right? Look for those longs there. 116, 118. Okay, that's it. Time to head over to the group. Hope you guys have a fantastic trading day. Hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of you out there. NASDAQ, 21,850. S&P 500, 60, 60, 50. SPY, 594.50. And QQQ, 526, 525 zone. That's the big zone above. Pay attention to the pullbacks, guys. Some beautiful opportunities out there. Let's see what happens. Over and over. That's right, Chef. Over and over and over again. Rinse and repeat. Stay confident. Focus on the strategy. Build your entry points. Get Dino out of this chat, please. Get him out. That's it. I needed to kick someone. So appreciate it, Dino. Thank you for getting, being the person that I get to kick out today. I needed at least one for my Christmas to be a good time. So I can be happy now. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a fantastic day off tomorrow. I am back. The snake oil salesman is back. To all of the people out there that were commenting that I blew up my account, it's a sad day for you. It's a sad day for you, my friends. I know you're still watching, even though you talk shit online, but you still come back. So welcome back. I'm back. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Peace and love.